Welcome, everybody, to another Age of Radio Mercury, your home for podcasting, gaming, and other pop culture news. I'm your host, Jeremy Quintanilla, and this is my sidekick or co-host. Sidekick might be a derogatory term. I don't know. Is that a bad term, Trey? Sidekick?
Not in my opinion.
The only reason why I think about that, I personally like Robin better than I like Batman. In most cases, love it when he's Nightwing. However, when Johnny Crypto of the Good Morning Crypto Show gets called a sidekick, when we say that he's Abs's sidekick, sometimes I think he gets a little frustrated at that, so we don't say that often. But that is what it is. But this is Creator Trey. Creator Trey, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing amazing. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, and you guys can all follow Creator Trey at Creator Trey. Trey, did I spell that right? Creator Trey. Follow. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. It's okay.
Yes.
Creator Trey at Create. I think I did it right. I went through here finally and changed up all of our stuff. So now we have a section for Mercury stuff as we continue to evolve the show. And I'm super excited about the evolution of this show because we're going to be at Tucson Comic Con. Before I mention that, you're going to want to stay tuned for this entire episode. We have a great amount of news, or I guess some frustrating news. I added some Hulu news to this, Trey. I also added some UFC news to this to add into our pop culture section because Paramount is doing some beast mode stuff and Disney Plus is doing some stupid stuff, I feel like, and I really want to talk about that. And but I'm super excited because we're also going to talk about 3 being a magic number. You have to stay tuned for that. Radcast, I think Podcast Network, they have created a brand new marketing platform that we're going to talk about. And then we're also going to talk about some cool YouTube metrics as we delve into podcasting news. But what I do want to let you guys all know is we're going to be at Tucson Comic Con. So I'm really excited about being at Tucson Comic Con this year. It's going to be August 28th, 29th, and 30th. And no, 29th, 30th, and 31st. We're getting there on the 28th because we have to go set up. But we are going to have a whole setup for live interviews. If you haven't seen any of our live interviews, they're still not up on YouTube yet, but they all are spread out throughout our Instagram feed at Age of Radioverse. So you can see our interviews with Jinx Cosplay, Thermo AZ. I always call her Thermo Cosplay. She gets frustrated. I don't know if she gets frustrated at me at that, but I would get frustrated at me at that if I was saying my name incorrectly. Thermo AZ. We also have Kyle, who is Ravencraft Cosplay. We have interviews with Flat Mountain Publishing. So we love going out in the community, especially in the pop culture and geek community, and doing interviews. So we built out our own interview setup. We're going to be streaming from Tucson Comic Con Live. I'll talk to you guys about that schedule next week if you're going to be here. But more importantly, and by be here, I mean in Arizona at Tucson Comic Con. More importantly, I'm excited because we're going to be giving away a freaking Switch 2. So I got my hands on Switch 2. We're going to be raffling it off at Tucson Comic Con. So if you're in Arizona, make sure that you head down there. And we are putting some activities together. We're going to put some Mario Kart racing together to win $100 gift card. Joey's doing a comic book poll down there. So we are really diving into doing events with Mercury. And eventually we'll get Creator Trey to be at these with us. We might even I'm trying to figure out, Trey, the logistics of like having you come in virtually. My fear is that I won't be able to hear you, but I will be able to hear you if the headphones are long enough to get to the mixing board from where we're going to be at and compared to where the mixing board is going to be. But I think that would be fun, having you like come in and actually be able to hear you and talk to you like this.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, and then you can talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because apparently this is the 35th anniversary of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So the entire Tucson Comic Con is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle themed. So, but anyways, we're going to kick it over to Trey in a little bit to go over some of the stuff that we have in the community. But I do want to let you guys know that we are doing a Mercury Spaces this Thursday, August 21st. We changed it from yesterday because I didn't have my shit together and I wanted to get Josh to make this cool little graphic. So Josh made the graphic and did the Fantastic Four ruin Marvel. And to be honest, that's just clickbait. I'm not sure that I agree with that statement or Trey agrees with that statement, but that's the point of having a Spaces because they introduced a character that I feel that is going to be part of, I guess, redoing the entire Marvel universe. So you told me, Trey, that they're going to be redoing the entire, they're doing like what did you call it? Like a reboot, but it's not really a reboot. It ended up being like a refresh to kind of solve some of the multiverse problems.
Yeah, I think so. The way I had heard it was a reboot, like a complete reboot, but you said it was more just to kind of align the multiverse mess that they got into earlier. But
Yeah, I think that they have a very big problem with the multiverse. I think that they figure that they have a really big problem with the multiverse. So they're actually going to go back and redo it. And I think the Fantastic Four adds the character that I think that they're going to utilize for it, but that's just my opinion. But you can 100% talk about that with us by joining our Mercury X Spaces. It's August 24th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's at on our X account at Age of Radioverse. Come chat with us. We'll bring you up. You can be a part of the conversation. We're all about creating conversation around the pop culture and I guess geek space in this context. But let's get into some news. Trey found some amazing news, but before we go to Trey's amazing news, I do want to talk about this amazing news here because it was kind of like a shock to me. Disney and Trey, were you the one that told me this, or did Alec? Who told me this?
I believe I told you this. Although,
And then Alex
yeah,
mentioned something about the UFC, if I'm not mistaken. But Disney is fully integrating Hulu into Disney Plus by 2026, creating a unified streaming app while maintaining both of the services as standalone options app while maintaining both services as standalone options for users. So, again, as of June 2025, Disney acquired full control over Hulu, completing the purchase of Comcast's remaining stake. This acquisition allows Disney to streamline its streaming services. And so Disney plans to merge Hulu and Disney Plus into a single app. And the new app will combine content from both platforms, offering a more comprehensive entertainment experience. I don't know if they have anything super entertaining. I guess Hulu has some entertaining stuff. Hulu's original shows and movies will still be accessible, but they'll be integrated into the Disney Plus platform. Hulu will be rebranded as Disney's global general entertainment brand, replacing the star tile in the Disney Plus app intentionally. The merger aims to provide a more personalized and streamlined user experience with improvements to the app's interface and features. Disney CEO Bob Iger emphasized that this integration will enhance consumer engagement and reduce churn rates. And if you guys don't know what a churn rate is, that's the percentage of people that are like unsubscribing or leaving the subscription. Despite the merger, both Hulu and Disney Plus will continue to be available as standalone services for users who prefer to subscribe to them separately. That's what I'm confused about. So, Trey, help me understand this. I don't know if you've read more on this or watched anything, and I grabbed this from AI that Microsoft made for me. But essentially, is it going to be where you're still going to be able to have? It sounded like it sounded like the Hulu app was going away, but then it sounded like at the bottom that you could get the Hulu app still.
I'm gonna. So this is. So I'm going to get a little bit irritated here. I'm gonna try not to go overboard. Let me know if like I do something.
The more irritating we can be, I'm assuming that more people will watch us. So be as irritating as you fucking want. I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm more irritated than I think I'll be irritating. I just
but I guess my point is be as irritated as you want because that will come across as passionate, and people love passion, is what I can gather. I love passion.
I just have a hard time reading stuff. Well, I'm just gonna. So this is the most asinine thing I've ever heard.
It's pretty stupid. I'm not gonna lie.
In my personal opinion, this is a very obvious attempt to fuse the applications while keeping the revenue. So, for instance, I pay for the bundle. Do you pay for the bundle?
I'll be 100% honest, Trey. I don't know how I pay for and get or Hulu. All I know is I have Disney Plus, I have Hulu, and I have 3 ESPN Plus subscriptions that I'm getting charged for every month, and I don't know how or why that's happening. So I'm assuming I have maybe a bundle and then 2 ESPN Plus subscriptions. But I do know my mother pays for the bundle, so we'll use that as the example here. My mom.
Okay, so the bundle is Disney Plus, if you want the ad-free version, is $13 a month. If you want Hulu included in that, it's $20 a month. They're saying, okay, if you want Hulu, you can have Hulu, but you're still going to go through the Disney Plus app, and you won't have access to Disney Plus. Which who's going to do that?
Correct.
Like
I agree.
genuinely.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have Disney Plus, but nobody. It's going to essentially just give the effect of their ad-free price is going to jump $7. That's essentially what. Because why are you going to pay for an app if you don't get all the content?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Now, I get that and I don't necessarily think that they needed to streamline anything. I feel like the Disney brand itself could still be different than a Hulu brand because the Hulu has different content, it has different shows, it does different type of stuff. And then Disney had different shows, it had different content, it did different type of stuff. I don't see why they couldn't have them as two separate specific brands. Like you have a Hulu brand that really focuses on the Fox content that's not the stuff that's not owned by News Corp, all of the Fox content, your original content that's more geared towards adults like The Bear, which is one of the best shows that Hulu's done, right? And then you have all of the children's stuff inside of the Disney content. Or the Marvel stuff and the Star Wars stuff. Like I don't think that there was a convoluting of the content in people's minds about what was Hulu specific and stuff that was Disney specific.
No, I don't think there was. It's just odd business move, I guess.
Yeah, it's also an odd business move. And then they also lost something ginormous when it comes to ESPN. They lost Dana White. I don't know if you follow UFC at all, Trey, or if you know who Dana White is or cares who Dana White is. But the UFC, he's the owner of the UFC. UFC has reached a news media rights agreement with Paramount that's going to start in 2026 under this deal. UFC events will now be available exclusively on Paramount Plus and on CBS with a total of 13 marquee numbered events and 30 fight nights. So essentially the model that ESPN used was that you would have regular fight night, certain fight nights that weren't pay-per-view specific, and then you have pay-per-view specific fight nights to have that upcharge. And so by doing this specific deal, from my understanding, that the streaming is going to have all of the specific fight nights moving forward, so that if you have Paramount Plus and you're a paid person, you will get access to the UFC fights. And I thought that I had, is this the Paramount one? Yeah. So Paramount secures UFC streaming deal. It's a $7.7 billion deal that Paramount did, which I want to add here because I think this is important. Not only did they do a $7.7 billion ad deal with this Paramount deal, they just closed a $1.5 billion deal with South Park, taking South Park away from the HBO Max rights deal so that South Park is now exclusively to Paramount Plus. And you also now have the fact that UFC is going to be on Paramount Plus, and they also finished their Skydance deal. So Paramount this year is now acquired Skydance. They have the rights to South Park, and they have the rights to UFC. So Paramount is positioning itself to be a powerhouse in the streaming world. Not to mention, if you're a Trekkie, they also have Star Trek stuff on there. So that's also the main reason why I have Paramount Plus. But I'm also happy that I have Paramount Plus because of the mere fact that it now has South Park on it. It's going to have UFC on it, and I don't have to pay for fight nights, which was a pain in the ass. So Trey, do you have any thoughts on this? I don't know if you're into UFC or care. But do you have any thoughts on at least the losing of it and all the changing in Paramount Plus?
So, didn't the article say if it was an exclusive deal?
I think it is an exclusive deal to Paramount Plus.
Okay, then that's interesting. Because, and it might just be because I didn't notice it, but from what I've seen, Disney hasn't been advertising its ESPN Plus. I bet you that anything left on there. And like Alex said, there's nothing going to be left on there after that. From what I've heard, they've lost football.
At least not from like specific streaming exclusivity. Like they don't have. I mean, I guess they have some exclusivity stuff, but like if you follow your local sports teams, you can usually get your local sports team stuff in-house in some type of capacity, right? So like if you're really involved with college, you're going to get a lot of college games on ESPN, which is what I try to watch a lot of, especially during basketball season. So that's going to be specific to me, but like you could possibly get a lot of those like those what are they called when a freaking sports team has a freaking event?
Home game?
Yeah, when they have a game. Thank you, Trey. I couldn't think of the fucking word game. When they have a game and it's like a game, you should be able to get that on an app like of the college that you're watching, right? But or it'll be on the local television in the local market, whatever the marketplace is. So again, I mean, I think that they have some ESPN stuff, but obviously it's not like having some exclusive right, like something ginormous like UFC. Like UFC, in my opinion, is one of the biggest. I don't know, besides football, is one of the biggest things. And for football, there's no exclusivity rights. All of that goes to the red zone. So, yeah, I don't know. Do you watch any sports, Trey, at all? Is that anything that you care about?
It's not that necessarily that I like. I've enjoyed playing or watching, not playing. Good Lord, not playing.
I enjoy playing.
Can you imagine me playing football?
That would be really fun. We should do that as a segment. We should go out and play football and have you and Dustin play football.
No
as
way.
long as Dustin's involved in some capacity where we're able to make fun of him, I'm hands down, I'm all for it. We won't make fun of you, Trey. We're just slowly going to make fun of Dustin no matter what happens.
No, it's more of a thing. I'm not worried about getting made fun of. It's more of a thing of I don't think I'd be able to trust my coordination and stuff. No, but what I was going to say, I like to watch football, but most of the time it's stuff that I can't see.
Right, and that makes sense because it's probably hard to see the movement of like the ball and like what's actually happening on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I understand that. All right, moving into some podcast news. Again, I don't know, get rid of your Hulu and Disney Plus. I'm just kidding. Keep all of your subscriptions. Subscriptions are taking over freaking everything. So have as many subscriptions as possible. And real quick, before we get into this article, Trey, how many subscription services do you have? Not just streaming subscription services, just in general, how many subscription services do you have?
I would say it's somewhere between 5 and 10. Could be more, but I think it's somewhere there.
Yeah, and that's crazy. With my businesses and my personal stuff, there's so many freaking subscription services. It's getting completely freaking ridiculous. So I think that we should boycott subscription services, but then we would have no freaking content to watch. All right, in some podcasting news, YouTube podcast ads deliver significant lift. Oxford Road study finds. The audio ad agency Oxford Road has released what it calls one of the first scalable data-driven studies to quantify the impact of podcasts running on YouTube, a platform long seen as a walled garden for attribution because traditional third-party tracking pixels aren't allowed. By using passive panel data instead of pixels to observe ad exposure, the Oxford Road white paper offers what Oxford says is the first educational signal to true simulcast effectiveness. And this is a quote from Executive VP of Strategy, Giles Martin. To our knowledge, this is the first time YouTube podcast impressions have been specifically measured, and we've been able to put a number on what they contribute to a client's business. The study first needed to address a long-standing challenge for advertisers. YouTube restrictions on third tracking pixels have made it difficult to gauge campaign performance, even as the platform has emerged as the leading destination for podcast listening. And again, this has gotten like bigger since they kind of rolled out Google. So essentially what happened, what YouTube did, which was good, and I don't know how they're going to manage this, but essentially they got rid of Google Music, converted it to YouTube Music, but the RSS feeds that are audio based get put in as a podcast audio feed inside of YouTube and then get kicked back over to YouTube Music. So that's one of the biggest things that's helped YouTube. The second biggest thing is now anything where people are talking is now just a podcast. So they are skyrocketing in podcasts because everything on YouTube is now a podcast on top of the things that they specifically call a podcast. But we're not going to get into that. If you watch this show, on this show, there's a lot of AI and podcast dedicated vernacular speaking on what an RSS feed is. At our live event, like in Tucson, we'll be talking a lot about foam. And that is a joke. If you watch some of the old episodes, there's going to be new foam talk at this new event, as there was a lot of foam talk at the last event. But back to what is going on. So essentially, during the study, researchers tracked audiences exposed to baked-in host-read ads across 15 to 20 podcast episodes simulcast in both audio and YouTube video formats between September and December of 2024. It included big shows like Smosh Moth and Bad Friends, down to small shows like our show, using a sample of around 165,000 tracked YouTube views from a broader 3.5 million total views. Oxford Road found a statistically significant 7.9% lift in website visitation during a 4-month period versus the pre-campaign period, equating to roughly 23,000 incremental visits nationwide when benchmarked against declining category visitation. And this is another quote. There's a big gap between the budgets are going and where we can actually measure, and that's essentially what they're really trying to find out. In addition to attribution estimates, Oxford Road was able to work with the panel to gather demographic insights about the audience of the YouTube podcast episodes in its campaign. The data shows that the YouTube podcast viewers skew younger with 20 to 30-year-old sweet spot. They are predominantly male, 74% were male, and are less diverse than the wider podcast audience. So 69% were white versus 11% black and 10% Hispanic. And so what that means is there is a difference in demographic that actually does their watching and their listening vis-a-vis YouTube than in the podcast industry as a whole, which I find that specific statistic a little odd. I would have thought that the YouTube would have been born diverse, but it seems like the Black and Hispanic communities are more apt to have other technology that they're listening to their podcasts on, Trey. I mean, would you have thought that that would have been the case?
No, I don't. I wouldn't have. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I found that was really interesting about this. And again, the reason why this is so important for everybody, if you're new to podcasting or if you want to get into podcasting, is that the reason why this is important is because with podcasting in general, it's very difficult to track the click-through rate of when someone's listening to a podcast, when an advertisement goes out, and how to follow that traction all the way to purchase. And so companies like Spotify, who's my arch nemesis, they actually do a pretty good job with it if you're using their ad platform, because you can integrate what are usually called pixels or tracking pixels that you put in like your website that can track that if the stuff kind of comes from Spotify, if it actually does to a purchase. Podcasting in general is pretty hard for that because a lot of the time, like if I was going to talk to you about Arizona Backyard Barbecue, Alex's business that has some of the best beef jerky in the world, I have to talk to you about it like that. And then I have to get you to follow a specific link. Now, we can create different URL parameters in that link to track it, but it has always been a little bit difficult. And so I think what's important about this is that as podcasting becomes more relevant, even though there are video podcasts, as podcasting becomes more relevant, we're going to start to see more technology come into the tracking space, because a lot of people, in my opinion, a lot of people are really apt about going and doing content right now. They want to be content creators, which is great. Content creation is fun. I love doing this show. I love the content that Trey puts out there. I love the other content that I do. But there hasn't been to be a lot of innovation in the actual space, which is why I'm excited about all of the stuff that's going into finding out how stuff is being clicked through, what type of demographic we have on different specific platforms. And I'm excited for Radcast Podcast Network, which we're going to talk here in a minute about a media platform that they're creating and growing, because we need to see more innovation in a lot of these spaces. But Trey, do you have any thoughts on this before we move on?
No, not really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know, because Trey, how many, and I'm going to ask you this now and I'm going to ask you it again, but how many podcasts do you think you listen to on a weekly basis? Like how many episodes? Oh, Grandma's back there. Grandma came in. It's a
I
grandma
told her
moment.
I was
You know what I have to
walking.
do? That is looks really freaking creepy because Trey has just a black blue sky. Do this. Do this with your hands and see if it looks like you're flying. No, no, no. Do like wings. Do wings. No, put your
That was
hands out
my
like a cross and like wings and see what happens. We should. I'm gonna make Grandma. I'm gonna make a. I'm gonna make a. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna make like a specific like pop up that comes up whenever there's a Grandma moment, and then I'm gonna find specific music to go along with it. In fact, let me
Oh, okay.
see. Hold on. Here, do this for me real quick, Grandma. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me just try to find. Let me see where these media assets are at. Okay, you start dancing. I'm gonna add music and see if you can hear it. Let's see. Let's see. This is called feeding the ducks. I have no idea what this sounds like.
I was hopping. He said hop in, and I
Can you
said
hear that,
okay.
Trey?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, let me see. Let's see what rock sounds like. Okay, now Grandma, come in.
Oh, that one.
Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Okay, we can do rock be a Grandma moment, and every time you come in, you have to strum the guitar. That's what we should do. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Let's see what lo-fi sounds like. No, it's not. It's got rock. It has to be rock. It has to be rock related.
I'll leave you guys alone.
Okay, Grandma, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Oh, and rock music out for Grandma. All right, that's what I'm talking about. We just need, so what you Trey, so what you have to do is you have to control the rock music when you know that she's going to be coming in, and then you push the rock music button. It's in the media assets. I don't know. You know what you should do, Trey? You should do a podcast with your grandmother.
I've
I have
actually thought
no
about.
idea what you would talk about, but I'm sure you could find something funny.
Oh no, I already have an idea.
What is
You
it?
know,
Do you want to share it?
yeah. So, without going into like exactly who's who, I want to
Mhm.
talk to my grandma about her life growing up, what it was like growing up in Montana, different things without and like messages to her kids and stuff. Something where after she's gone, I can direct family to the podcast and say, hey, um, she has stuff for you guys in this. She has stuff about her life in this, that sort of thing. I've been meaning to do something like that for a while.
Yeah, actually, that was one of the things that I had an idea for a while ago was to interview a different person in my family, and I mean, it could be a public podcast, but mainly be for like distant family members, like interview them, interview local family members, and then have that podcast that's available for people to learn more about like your family's lineage and the people that are a part of your family and things like that. That one of my biggest things for anybody that's on here that doesn't follow my Age of Jeremy stuff, that's one of the things that's really big for me is family governance and family businesses and things like that. And so those are some of the things that I think of when I'm, I don't know, bored at night. But if you heard of the Radcast podcast network, Trey, have you heard of that Radcast?
Never heard of it.
All right, so Radcast Podcast Network is a network. They have over 1.27 million downloads a year. They have shows like Right About Now. They have Empowered. They have Vibe Science. This is their website. You can go to the Rad Podcast Network. They're actually launching a podcast hosting and ad sales platform. The Radcast Network has unveiled its own podcast hosting and monetization platform, which it says is part of the company's mission to empower independent voices and expand industry innovation. Again, one of the things that I was just talking about, I want to see podcast networks do this. I want us to do that. I want more people to innovate in the space. We've lost a lot of innovation, I feel like, in the United States, especially I think our patent numbers are down. And I think that innovating has gone way of like, and again, not saying in every specific instance, but when it comes to like content creators and streaming, everybody wants to be a content creator, and I get it. It's freaking fun. You can make money at it. You can have a blast doing it. Hang out with your friends and talk about stuff. And the fact that anybody watches this is amazing to me because it's just me and Trey talking about what's going on in the news, and we're trying to make it as entertaining as possible for people. But I think that we need to have more innovation like this because we want to be I don't know, innovative, for lack of a better way to say. I'll just use multiple of the same word and trick people into how I'm talking. Okay, and so the new platform also gives the Radcast Network full ownership over its advertising and demand partnerships, providing creators with more opportunities to monetize authentically and transparently onto their own properties, which is also another problem because, you know, when you have companies like my arch nemesis Spotify, they go out and sell a bunch of advertisements and then they hardly give any of the money to the individuals that are creating the content, which has always been a problem. And one of the what's the word, I'm like, one of the problems and I guess I'll just leave it at that. One of the problems with Spotify, or criticisms of Spotify, is that it pays artists very little. And then you had Tidal that Jay-Z created that was going to pay artists more. And then I think that got bought by another, I think that got bought by like Square or X, or I don't know, some obscure, like a company I didn't think bought it, and I don't think they're doing anything with it. But Radcast Network, it's from Greenville, South Carolina. It's been focused on growing its show roster this year. Since January, it's added more than 50 podcasts to its portfolio. Radcast says the launch of the network also signals a shift in how the network supports its talent, with more advanced analytics and a new help portal built to serve creators faster and more effectively. The transition is already underway for several Radcast shows. The Radcast Network says it currently has 1.57 million total monthly downloads and an average weekly audio impressions of 273,000 to 28 episodes in show release each month. So again, they have a plethora of shows, and it's great to see them innovating in that space. And we're here at Age of Radio, we're working on innovating in that space. Hopefully by the end of this, not hopefully, we will by the end of this year have a better layout and map outline of how that innovation's going to look for the things that we're doing. So again, they have all kinds of shows here. Have you heard of any of these shows, Trey, right about now?
No, I don't think so.
This one's the Real American Business Show. I don't know if there's non-real American business shows, or if all of the other business shows that have hosts, none of them are American. I don't know what it's saying. The Empowered Life podcast, the Vibe Science podcast, the Human Experience, Wake Up and Read the Labels. I'm sure that's a health conscious podcast because, oh my God, the stuff that we're putting in our bodies is ridiculous. Dark, like my coffee right now. I'm sure there's something horrible inside of it that I'm drinking. I should have got a bunch of donut. I think, Trey, what we need to do is have a health segment every week. And during the health segment, I'm just going to be eating donuts during the health segment. That'd be really funny. All right, Trey, I'm going to kick it over to you, sir. It's that time. What do you have going on in the podcast world? And what do you have going on in our Age of Radio community?
Okay. I don't really have anything going on the podcast thing.
But your Substack, maybe eventually. No, you don't have Substack stuff either?
I do have Substack stuff. I'll go into the community and then I'll ask you a question related to my most recent article real quick.
Wait, I have a question for you, so don't lose your thought. Since can Substack be distributed vis-a-vis RSS feed?
I believe it. So I'm not entirely sure. I know it does a regular feed through the website and the newsletter. I don't know if it has an RSS option. I do know that it has a podcast.
Oh, that's right. It does have a podcast availability inside of the Substack. That's a good point. I forgot about that. Anyways, continue, Trey. I don't mean to cut you off. This is your time. Your time to shine.
Okay, so lots of fun stuff going on in the community. Fun trivia question. One that ChatGPT educated me on, which was really cool. What actor in The Lord of the Rings actually fractured his toe? Crazy stuff. I love finding out stuff like that in movies.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's pretty funny that happened. And then, anyways, continue. I don't know if you're going to share the rest of it.
And then we have our spaces next week, of course. And the week after that, we have our gaming hangout. We're thinking about doing some Nintendo stuff. How are you doing on your connection device?
On my connection device for my Switch?
Yeah.
I have it set up. I've been playing Rune Factory, and I'm really excited because I got to a place where I could get some cabbage seeds to add to my farm. For some reason, farming in video game simulation is super relaxing for me. And so, like, yeah, last night I was playing it and like I fell asleep while I was playing it, and the controller, I was laying down, and the controller, I had like the full controller was on my big screen TV, and the controller fell on my head, and that's how I woke up. So I have it connected. I've played Mario Kart World. I'm not as impressed with Mario Kart World as I thought that I would be, but it is very fun. It's Mario Kart. And I need to find you because I can see what games you're playing because it tells me. So obviously we're friends. I just don't know how to like chat you as a friend.
So the button, it's right below the home button. It's the chat button.
Yeah. So when I go to that, it makes me want to set something up, and then I was like, I don't want to do that. So do I have to set something up to do that?
Yeah, you just have to. It's the same way you logged in with your phone. Like you have.
Oh, is that what it was? I remember
yeah.
I needed something, and I was like, F this. I've done like 4,000 QR codes. I'm not doing another one. And that's how you know that you're getting old, when you don't want to do something as simple as scan a QR code.
Well, it's not just doing that, but yeah. It actually, that's why I didn't get it set up immediately too.
And we have a special guest. Joey, stay in the background for a minute, and I'll bring you up here in a second. Just nod your head. All right. I guess I could have just chatted him in the private chat. But I want to make everything known to everybody who's watching something. Anyways, continue, Trey.
And then we just recently did our anime roundtable. That was really fun. That's where we found out about the Disney thing and the UFC thing, which was fun. And then
and two, again, go ahead, Trey.
No, what were you gonna say? You're good.
No, I was just gonna say I was gonna throw this up again. Did the Fantastic Four ruin Marvel? If you're just tuning in, you can debate and discuss us with that on Thursday, the 21st at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on our Spaces. Okay, back to you, Trey.
All right. You'll have to let me know, Joey, if you're gonna write that that explanation we were talking about on Substack. But speaking of Substack, Jeremy, I recently did an article on you have to, if you're taking over a franchise, you have to not break the bones or the pillars of the franchise. Can you can you think of a game or a series where it was taken over and like the developers didn't know what the bones of it were, so it failed?
I'm trying to think. Adobe's done that a bunch of times. Oh, fucking Intuit completely did that with freaking Mint. Sorry, I'm not to be mad. Mint was one of the best financial softwares. And once Intuit bought that, they kept it going. And then they decided to merge it inside of Credit Karma with none of the functionality that was a part of it. And now they just have Credit Karma. It was freaking horrible. They had such a great opportunity, and I feel that they had no plan in place to keep that freaking app going. But anyway, that's one of my number ones because Mint was my favorite. Like, and I've looked at Rocket Money. I've looked at YNAB. YNAB's cool. Mint was a really, really, really good app. And Intuit fucking, excuse my language for all the kids on here. This is a family-friendly show. Intuit freaking destroyed it. All right, I've said my piece. I've ranted enough.
Fair enough. My main stuff was video games, so I talked about like Spyro and stuff like that. That's all on my Substack, tradershare.substack.com, but that's all I've got.
All right. And if you guys want to join our amazing Discord, you can head on over to ageofradio.com. You can also get 10% off W using Geek Collective 10. W is an energy drink. You just got to click this bad boy and then go give them your money, and then we get paid for that. So that helps us and helps keep us going. And if you come here and you go to Discord right here, you can click on this bad boy up here and you can come on over to our Discord where Trey is the community manager. We have a lot of great fun in there. We also have our Facebook, Addicted to Podcasting. We just put out a text episode. Every Thursday, we try to get a topic to create some conversation. We have over 700 members in our Addicted to Podcasting Facebook group. So go and check that out. I don't think you can get that to hear from ageofradio.com, which is thinking to myself, why can't you do that? So I'm going to talk to Dustin about that. And Dustin's in for one, especially if we make him do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles scene at Tucson Comic Con, which I'm really excited about doing. But with that, we have a special guest. This is freaking 2 weeks in a row now, I think. I think maybe he got rid of his kids. and now he's able to join us. But let's see what happens when we add Joey to the stage. They're right in the middle, baby. Oh, Joey sandwich between us. Look at that. We're having a Joey sandwich.
How's it going?
I'm doing fantastic, Joey, with your super amazing radio voice. Joey's the CEO and publisher of Geek Collective LLC. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad that you. So you don't have your kids anymore? Is that what's going on? I don't.
I pawned them off. I pawned them off on my wife. I said you can have them for a little bit.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe that. So are they playing games right now? What are they doing?
Yeah, they're just chilling. They got out of school. They are just sitting down for some dinner. They're pretty chill right now. They're starting to get a little bit to the point where they're chilling out a little bit more and more and more as they get older, because our youngest is going to be 5 here in September. So,
dang.
Yeah.
I remember when I met you had like no kid. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
we had it was like 1, right? 2 kids.
All right. So I'm glad that you're here. This is an interesting topic. So it looks like the magic number for podcasting is the number 3. 3 is the magic number for podcasting. What do I mean by that? Apparently, most podcast listeners only make room for 3 titles in their weekly routine. That's one of the key findings from the podcast study growth, the result of which will be revealed in Podcast Movement, which I believe this was August 13th. So this will be revealed next Wednesday. But essentially, in a world where shelf space is limited, the podcasts that combine strong content with active relationship building have the best chance to secure a coveted top 3 spot. So I want to kick it over to you guys. We'll start with Joey, and then we'll go to Trey, since Joey, you're able to jump on. So how many podcasts do you listen to? Does that seem pretty accurate that you only have 3 podcasts that you listen to?
Yeah. There was probably like 3 active podcasts that I was listening to when I was really active in getting it.
Now you don't listen to any podcasts? Is that what you're saying?
I do. No, I don't. I'm really bad because I fell off some of the ones that I usually listen to. Too much work. But the thing is, I when I was listening to them, I could name off 3 of them right off the top of my head that I listen to like on a regular basis. One of them more often than the other 2.
What was it? Was it safe for this pot? Was it safe for?
Yeah, kids? It's our friends over at Professor Frenzy.
Oh, Professor Frenzy, that was a good one.
Yeah, and then our friends on our network, our geeky shows. We got a bunch of them. See, look at they're like eluding me because it's been a while.
Comic Book Yeti is a good one.
Comic Book Yeti.
Actually, listening to you and Benjamin, when you can Ben do the podcast, or even if Ben's just on there, explain yourself is pretty good. I like that being a Kickstarter roundtable.
Yeah, we have fun doing that show.
Yeah, it's a great show. You guys can check it out on our YouTube at Age of Radioverse. Okay. So for Trey, how about you? What are you listening to anything right now religiously? And is 3 sound about right?
So there are 3 that I will do pretty regularly. All In, Comfort Zone, and the Gryffindor podcast. But right now I've been trying.
And what was the last one, Trey? Was that a Harry Potter one?
Yes, it was. It was Through the Gryffindor.
Dude, Trey loves Harry Potter. I'm so excited about that.
I love that.
I really think I should start a Harry Potter trivia segment where I just ask Trey random Harry Potter crap during the show. But anyways, continue, Trey. Sorry.
But right now I've kind of geared up a little bit, and I'm listening to more. Of course, there's like your podcast when you put out one, and then I'm listening to like Primary Technology, like a bunch of technology podcasts.
Trey just called me out on not consistently putting out my podcast. I haven't done one in 2. I haven't done one in 2 weeks. I've been traveling. Trey.
He said when you put it out.
Yeah, he totally just was like, when Jeremy puts out a fucking podcast. Yeah, so some of my, obviously, like from our ones that I like listening to, I really like it's not his Healthy Gracious, it's his Homeostasis one. Is it actually showing up on here? This one here, Homeostasis, it's an old radio show that we got the rights to essentially from the main producer, Brother Saphir. So it was an old radio show had a syndicate across the nation, but it's got some really cool spirituality conversation on it. In fact, this podcast is where I learned about firewalking. So I tried, and I want to do firewalking one of these days, or like hot coal walking, I think that would be fun to make Dustin do it on a segment.
No, why do you got to make Dustin do it? Why can't you do it?
I'll do that one too. I'll 100% do it, but I also have to make Dustin do it because that's funny. Because Dustin doesn't like being on camera and he doesn't like doing weird shit. All right, so homeostasis is one
that
of
sounds
our,
like that sounds like mean. You're just a mean bully.
I am a mean bully when it comes to it. You know what? You can talk to me about it in Tucson. Okay, so homeostasis is one
that
of
means
our...
he's gonna do something mean to me. So look, we're gonna do a firewalk in Tucson. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're not gonna do a firewalking in Tucson. I don't think we have the ability to do that. All right, so we have to have some kind of training. I don't want our feet to be burned off and be like, Trey. Well, Trey won't be there. Joey, just do fire. We have to do some type of like prep, or we might die.
Like,
because I think that happened at a Tony. I think at a Tony Robbins thing, someone did actually like die or get hurt or like
Are you kidding me?
Something. Yeah, because he does firewalking stuff, and I think the way that he does it isn't like, I don't know, because I'm probably gonna speak out of turn here, but fuck it, is that he does it where like not the way that you're supposed to do it, and someone ended up getting hurt.
Oh man,
so I think that's kind of
every time every time I think of firewalking, I think of the Office.
Did they do that in The Office? I don't watch that show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you know,
I watched some of the show, and I have a hard time. The problem with The Office, and not to go too much on a separate tangent, I'll talk about my podcast. I like the show; it's funny, but sometimes the stupid shit that Steve Carell does in the American version makes me feel like bad for him or like embarrassed, and I don't like that feeling, so I don't watch the show. Does that make sense?
I guess, yeah.
You're like, no, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. No. All right, so for my 3, I do like homeostasis. As far as what's on the podcast network, outside of our network, one of my favorite shows is Dakota Ring. Dakota Ring is a show about cracking cultural mysteries. So essentially, there's like some type of like cultural phenomenon that then they talk about like how that actually became. That's one of my favorite ones. I started listening to Hard Forked. Joey disappeared again. I started listening to Hard Forked and then All In. So I have to admit, I have to think like when I'm not in a super big like listening to podcasts nonstop all the time, I would say there's probably about 3. I think that would be pretty accurate. Yeah. You know, and again, that goes back to the point of like making sure that you're creating really good content that can capture people through the content, and it can have people coming back to the content by having, you know, segments or doing fun stuff or being bullying Dustin, as Joey would say it. So those would be things that you want to make people to come back for. And so I think that that's pretty legitimate. All right. So Joey, right now, while I queue up the next segment or queue up the next article, what's going on in Geek Collective? Do you have any Kickstarters that you're working on you want to talk about?
Yeah, we got we just finished one up with our pal. He had TMA. They were able to fund. That one was a little scary at the end, but it ended up hitting that mark. We've got one that's in pre-launch right now. If you guys go to Kickstarter.com and then type in Remember, that one's going to be launching here in this next week, just a couple of days. And that one is the final chapter of a really great revenge story. So definitely check that one out. We are co-publishing that one with our pal, Patrick D. Foreman, who is one half of the creative team of Black Cotton. So definitely check that one out. It's a
Black Cotton sick too.
Yeah, Black Cotton's really good. So if you like murder mysteries and revenge stories, this one's definitely for you. And then we've got our pal Ben's book, which is Scarlet Twilight. It's kind of like a Crisis on Infinite Earths. So definitely check that one out and just type in Benjamin W. Morrison. His campaign will be going live very, very soon.
All right. So how many of you like doing household chores?
No, I don't.
I'm freaking. This office is so dirty. Just look behind me. If I have a cleaner clean, I have cleaners clean every other place where in my house except for this office because I'm always working in it when they're here. This place is freaking horrible here.
I just cleaned my office today. I organized everything. It was crazy. Like
I give you props. So Chibi Robo is a game about a robot that does household chores. Is that accurate, Trey? Is that what happened? I never played that game.
I never played that game either. I just know it's popular.
All right, well, we're gonna watch it because it's coming to GameCube Online. It's a super popular game, and it's not GameCube. It's coming to Switch Online or Nintendo Online, so you'll be able to play you having a robot clean your house. Is that, I guess, what's gonna happen? That's creepy as hell.
Does it make anybody else sad that these are the games they're coming out with on Switch too?
Well, I think they're releasing it on their online. I think they can just stream it.
Yeah, I'm just.
This is an old popular GameCube game, but I don't even remember this.
I don't remember this either.
And we're old.
Yeah,
I'm older than Joey, which makes me sick.
No, we're the same age. You just.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that. I
Slightly
keep thinking you're like in your 30s, but you're old and you're 40. We're not old at all. Old's just a state of mind. It's not even a thing. It doesn't exist. Old's not a thing. Old doesn't mean anything. You're as old as you feel, and I feel like I'm 18. My legs don't feel like I'm 18, but my heart and soul feel like I'm 18.
Yeah.
All right, back in April, Nintendo announced that its Switch Online Plus expansion pack services was expanding to include GameCube games. The initial offering included The Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and F-Zero GX, and Super Mario Strikers hit the catalog last month. Now, Nintendo has revealed the next GameCube game coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and that is Chibi Robo, which you just saw. Creepy robot helps you do your house chores, which begs the question, isn't it weird that we virtually do this stuff, but we don't like do the stuff in the real? Because like I've been playing Rune Factory and it's really nice to farm, and I'm like, oh man, it'd be really cool to actually go outside and farm. But then when I go out to feed my tortoises, it's hot as balls outside. Excuse my language. It's hot outside, and I don't want to farm out there. It's hot, so I can fake farm and have no benefit whatsoever by playing Rune Factory. Like, what are your thoughts on that, Trey?
So I think that there's.
What's your thoughts on sim games in general? I guess is the question.
I think when it comes to that stuff, I think that when it comes to doing it in real life, there's a lot more factors that apply. Like for instance, apart from like it being ridiculously hot outside for you, doing an actual farm where it's kind of something that'll keep you busy for a while would take a lot more time normally than it does in Rune Factory or another sim game. And
yeah, I know.
you don't have to
worry about
worry
in like 1 second. It's all ready to go. It's just like, boop. Okay, plot of land's ready to go in farming.
Yeah. Well, stuff like that normally takes a lot more time and usually takes funds too. So it's just one of those things where people can just, and it's so sometimes people can't do it, but it's soothing. For instance, the idea of having bugs under my hands freaks me out. So when it comes to like actually
I think that would freak a lot of people out if they just started doing something and then just a shitload of bugs around. So 100% I agree with you, Trey.
Well, so and like it's funny because my grandma will say, she says that she wants to have a honeybee hive, and I'm going, no way in hell. And she says they're fine, they won't hurt you, and I'm going, lady, you can see them.
Yeah, that's true. That's also more difficult for you because it'd be difficult to see them as well.
Yeah, so like I'll play one of those games. One of my favorites is Wildflowers, with a Y and an E in wild. And it has like the farming and stuff. And it's just like, instead of being nervous about bugs and stuff, I can just relax and farm or mine or whatever else. Like that's just, I think, the thing.
Yeah. And real quick, it looks like Hot Edits has been trying to get our attention. So, I don't know. Do you know this person, Joey? Maybe I know them. I don't know. Maybe it's a scam account. Who knows? But I'll just throw it up here for fun. This person says, it looks like a female with a blocked out edit thing. So I can't imagine that this is a safe place to go to. So don't click on that. All right, Joey, what are your thoughts about simulated games, like simulating life and so forth?
Listen, this is the thing. I love a good open world game, but I don't know about these sim games. I'd rather like maybe they'd be cool if like in the future, sometime down the line, we could play these games and there's an actual robot outside doing the thing for us.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Kind of like remember that movie The Gamer with
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? And like you would like put on the virtual suit, but you'd be actually controlling another human being or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie. That's where we're headed. That's where AI is headed for us.
That's
what I
AI.
think.
That's the AI. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, AI, and that's all robotic AI. That's what's happening. We're going to do nothing but sit inside virtually and do everything virtually. All right, guys, we're coming up on the end of the show. We didn't get through everything that we wanted to get through, but I want to do two more things because I mentioned it. One is I just want to show this amazing, maybe a first look at $1,000. No, it's a $9,000. It's $1,000 Lego set. 1,000 piece doesn't sound like a lot. 9,000 piece Lego set that's coming out of the Death Star. So Trey, are you a Trekkie or a Star Wars person?
Star Wars.
All right, Joey, I remember those Star Trek people that you pissed off at that event when you started talking about Star Wars stuff during that. That was fantastic. So Joey, Star Wars or Star Trek or both or what? What are we doing?
I like both. I watched a lot more Star Trek.
I love Star Trek, so I like Star Wars. I'm just not a big fan of all the. I don't know. I don't know nothing. I'm not going to say
of TNG.
Correct. Yeah, TNG is really good. All right. So for months now, rumors of a Lego Star Wars Death Star have been floating around Reddit, Instagram, and other places where Lego nerds hang out. I guess that's where Lego nerds hang out. Now we finally have one of our first looks at the massive upcoming Lego set, and it seems to confirm the previous rumors. It's going to be $1,000, and it's going to be 9,000 pieces. It is a Death Star. I like spending money on Legos. I don't know if I'd spend $1,000, but that thing looks pretty sick.
Our friend Ambrosia really loves Legos, and she will spend $800 to $1,000 on a Lego set. Like, no joke.
That is crazy.
Like real Lego people will do it.
Oh yeah, hands down. 100% a Lego person would probably drop this right now.
That's easy. That's easy.
I don't know when it's coming out though. I read the article. I don't think I saw it, but I didn't. Maybe I forgot and didn't read it fast. Read it too fast. But anyways, if you love Legos, let us know. Give us a like wherever you're listening to this at, and let us know if you think that you're going to purchase this Death Star Lego set. The last thing that I want to mention, my good friend, who's not actually my good friend Channing Tatum, I actually do not know it all. Let's see if I can find the right post, is actually going to be the voice of a character in the new Demon Slayer movie.
I did hear that.
Joey, what are your thoughts on that? And then I'll kick it over.
I heard this.
Yeah, so how did it make you feel? Were you pissed off? I mean, were you happy?
I mean, he's got a really great anime voice. Like, he can totally do it. Like, I'm down with that. What up?
You think so?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
so here's the thing. So hold on, Trey, what are your thoughts on it? Yay or nay on Channing Tatum, and then I'll put the problem that the people on the internet are having a problem with.
Okay. I know about the problem, so I'll let you explain it, but I personally don't see it as that big of a deal.
I'm only going to say this. I watched the Studio, I don't know words. Everybody can make fun of me. I don't care. I watched a movie, one of the ones that was made a couple years ago. I forgot which one it was. It was about the kid and the house, and then like they go on a crazy journey to find the mother. And I think it was Christian Bale that played the father's voice as the voice actor. And like, I love Christian Bale. I did not like him as the voice. I don't know. It just didn't fit, in my opinion, based off of like the person. So I guess it has to do with how you act out the voice. One, the problem with what the internet has a problem with is that they have a problem with the fact that there are other voice actors that could have been utilized for this opportunity, but they went with a big name in this case with Channing Tatum. Yeah. And I can see that. I mean, there's a lot of other voice actors that probably maybe deserved this from all their time and effort in it, but then they go for like a big name person, then it takes the work away from the other voice actors that are regular voice actors in this specific space. So, Trey, what are your thoughts on that? And then I'll go to Joey.
Right. So when it comes to like actors, I believe Channing Tatum is more of an actor than he is a voice actor. Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, and he's barely. I mean, I love Channing Tatum, but he's barely an actor. So based off of those two things,
Wow.
and I love every Channing Tatum movie. I'm not dissing that. I love watching Channing Tatum movies, but other than A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints, I mean, he's the same person in every single movie. And maybe fighting. I love fighting. I love The Guide to Recognizing Your Saints, but I mean, he's just the same character.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So these anime, and not even animes usually, which is really strange that an anime movie is doing this, but it happens more often in video games. They reach for these big name actors, and it very rarely pans out very well. Because when you're an actor, you have the set and you have the other people, and you can play off that. But when it's a voice actor, you don't, and sometimes that stuff doesn't play, and it sounds either forced or like just not good at all.
Well, and that's how I felt about Christian Bale playing, and I wish I could remember the Studio Ghibli.
I mean, come on, the Billy Bob Thornton was on a Studio Ghibli movie too. Like, I remember thinking, I was like, really, Billy Bob Thornton, really?
Yeah, and that's my thing. It's like,
he's gotten a lot better. If you listen to him then and you listen to him now, he's gotten a lot better with his voice acting. And I mean, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's been doing some really good some voice acting stuff behind the scenes somewhere, and personally, maybe he's gotten better.
I have no problem with Channing Tatum being in the movie. Like, I have no problem with that. I support Channing Tatum. I think he seems like to be a really cool guy in Hollywood, and he just makes movies. And my thing about when you're making movies, if you get into the space to be able to make a movie and you're able to be in big movies and make money at it, I support that. I don't like get hung up on people's acting ability. Like, it is what it is. I'm like, good for them. I support everybody. I root them on unless they're a piece of shit. And he seems to be like an okay guy, right? And so that part, I don't have a problem with him being it. I just wanted to get your guys' take on it because, I'm assuming the people that are really hardcore into anime, they're not going to like that, as the article stated.
I'm sure. I mean, and then also you're if you're thinking about it as taking work away from a working voiceover actor who has been doing this for years, it gets a little muddy, right, with all these people in that space, right? Because I'm in a space where we do Kickstarter comic books, right? And when we have a big huge name Hollywood name come in and do a Kickstarter and they make like millions of dollars, and we're like, dude, come on, man, we've been here for a minute, you just come in and use your name and make $1 million. Like, I mean, cool, you're giving awareness to this, but it's like this push and pull kind of feeling, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. That's what my thing is. And again, I don't think you can blame Channing Tatum for this. I mean, he either auditioned for it or someone reached out to him and said, "Do you want to be in this?" or his agent found it or whatever. But I think from like a studio perspective, I'm always for trying to lift up the people that are in their craft that are focused on that. And I would like to see that. But again, I don't have any hard feelings towards Channing Tatum for doing it. But anyways, with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to you, Joey, to start the closing out session. Any round robin stuff that you want to add? Where can people find you? And then we'll go over to Trey and I'll close this out.
Make sure you guys are following us at anywhere that you can find Geek Collective, which is at _Geek Collective, and at Joey Galloway's 1984. And if you guys are at Tucson Comic Con, come find us. We're going to be at the Age Radio booth, and we're going to be doing some really cool stuff. Age Radio is going to be giving away one of these bad babies right here. This is a Nintendo Switch 2. We're going to have some more information on how you can be entered to win a Switch 2. Come find us at Tucson Comic Con, and we'll have more information on how to do that. You'll be able to only do it in person, right, Jeremy?
Only in person for this one, and for right now. But we're working on giving more giveaways, because giving away stuff is the funnest part about giving stuff away. It's the giving away part of it. But anyways, you can find Joey Galvez 1984 on all social media at Joey Galvez 1984, except for on X, because you're boycotting X.
Yeah, I'm not on X. Yes, we're not there anymore. We're there
Boycotting X.
Collective. We're there with Geek Collective.
Geek Collective. All right, kicking it over to creator Trey. Tell people what you want them to know about you and where they can find you, sir.
All right, you can find me on X, Instagram, TikTok, a whole bunch of places. I have a Blue Sky account, but I never use it. Blue Sky, get your iPad app out. More importantly, you can find me on Substack. Still getting things set up and figured out on there. A lot to learn on that platform, but creatortrey.substack.com. Again, recent article, bones of video games and stuff like that. And that's all I got. Thank you, Jeremy.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Trey. Appreciate you. And again, my name is Jeremy Quintanilla. I am the co-host or host of Mercury, and the founder and creator of Age of Radio, your home for podcasts, the free podcast network for everyone. So make sure that you check us out at ageofradio.com. You can also see all of the Age of Radio shows. There's tons of them on YouTube at Age of Radioverse, along with some of our other live shows. There's a show that Joey does with Benjamin Morse called Explain Yourself, Kickstarter crowdfunding roundtable. I think I said Kickstarter roundtable earlier, but a crowdfunding roundtable show. You can also find Cause Talk Live. They've actually expanded their episodes. They have a special episode with Amber Brights now that's prop related. They have one with a cosplay mom who's really big in the cosplay space. They also have a new segment with Hope on Instagram. You can follow her at Hopeless Night. And then the main shows are Thermo AZ doing gaming, and then Jinx cosplay interviewing other cosplay artists and talking about cosplay. So you can get those live on the Age of Radio YouTube channel as well. You can also listen to my podcast at Age of Jeremy and follow me on YouTube at Age of Jeremy as well. And you can follow me on all social media at Age of Jeremy, except on X. It's at Age of Jeremy Q. And thank you guys. Appreciate you, Joey, for stopping by. I'm hoping you're able to jump onto these bad boys more often. I'm super excited about that. And thank you always, Trey, for getting the articles together for us. And we will see you guys next Friday at or around 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk with you soon. Bye, guys.